Hi, as you know, my name is Becca. I did a video for AICR a while ago, and I guess it's due time to do a video, an update on things, as well as tell a story about my dad. The boy that was young, I think he was 8 years old, my husband's cousin, several weeks later he had passed away. And he had met Harrison Ford, and it was a treat for him to meet him. And I am going to talk about my dad and why I wanted to talk about my dad and why I hold on to his cross as well as everything else. My dad and I didn't get along, but ever since his death, I have grown to love him more and more every day. I kind of wished I knew him before he died, but the man I did not know, and what I know now of him makes me want to love him more, and I will describe that for the short time that I have for YouTube. My father grew up in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin, and he had a brother, a mom, a dad, who passed away when he was a couple years old. He was just a baby. And my dad had a simple life. Lived with his mom, his grandma, his brother, until he met my mom. My mom and dad met at a function at a Lutheran church, and they knew that they were meant to be together. So they went out for coffee and realized that we were meant to be together. So as months and days had passed by, my dad asked to marry her, and of course she said yes, and they got married, and they wanted kids, but they couldn't have them. So they decided to adopt. My brother Michael was first. My brother Michael is in DC, and he's a genius. He has a lovely family, 2 kids, wonderful wife. And my other brother, Chris, was adopted second. He has now a wife and 2 kids and lives near our mom. And, of course, me. I'm the last of the bunch. My parents loved me as best as they could. I was born with learning disabilities and Asperger's, a mild case of Asperger's. If it wasn't for my parents, I don't know how I would be today, or how I would act, how I would be around other people if it wasn't for my parents and the places that they sent me. And my mother says it's a strong will in me that I was fighting to be the person I am today, which is probably true, but I don't know. But I did not know how my father loved me as much as he did. I didn't know. He never had a sister, but he did love me the best way he could. And I grew up in a household with love and sometimes laughter, but also in negativity and not so much good stuff. But my parents took care of me as best as they could. They took me to schools, they put me in programs that helped me and developed me into the person I am today. As I grew up in Wisconsin with my family, my mom, my dad, and my Aunt Kathy got in a car accident years ago, and I remember it when I was in 2nd grade. I don't remember what year, but I only remember I was in 2nd grade when it happened. My dad and my Aunt Kathy got it pretty bad. They were hit by a drunk driver who didn't have insurance, and my dad lived the rest of his life with no kneecaps and struggled the rest of his life. He was different after the accident. My mom, on the other hand, had a sprained ankle and glass in her eye, but that was about it. My Aunt Kathy, on the other hand, was severe as much as my dad. She had a collapsed lung. Her head was split open. But she survived. My dad survived and my mom survived. They all survived, and I'm very thankful and blessed that they did. And God was watching over my family. My dad was struggling all his life. He was also a smoker when he was 16. So later on, he tried to stop smoking, but you know how addictive smoking can be. But later on, I was in my 20s, and I was 24 in 1995. My father became very ill, and we didn't know what was wrong with him. He lost his job. He was home. Knowing that my father and I didn't get along, I didn't hang around him as much as I should have been. But it got to the point where he was in the hospital once. He came home, he was okay, and the second time he was almost DOA. He collapsed the second time, and then he was in the hospital the rest of the time. And as I have been told, the doctor would not test him for cancer. We don't know why, but it's just how the doctor does not work in the hospital anymore, as we know. We did not know a week before he died he had cancer. But he was a devoted father, a devoted husband, and a devoted friend to my mother. And learning things about my dad, and after he passed away, the first thing I wanted to grab was that cross. So many memories with that cross in his pocket every day of his life. As his daughter, every time he would get his change, I see him grabbing his cross, pulling it out, and I would, there's a ching, 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 and then he would put it back in his pocket. It's just those memories. So, and I'm sure that I'm almost up with the 10 minutes, so I better hurry up here. To let you people know, cancer, it can be cured at the right stage. There's also prayer, if you believe in that. If you don't, well, then there's hospitals and there's doctors, there's people that can treat those cancers if you can get it soon as possible. The one thing that I want to tell you is that love your family member as long as you can. Don't turn away from them just because they have cancer. Don't be afraid to go up to them and love them and be there for them on their last days. Be positive thinking. Don't pretend everything's going to be okay. Be as real as possible, but be there for them. Talk to them as you would before you knew that they had cancer or they were sick. Just be there. Love them. Be there for them. Forgive them. Comfort them. And support them. And give them whatever they want, whatever they need. My prayers and thoughts go out to everybody who has lost a loved one. And I just wanted to do this video because I love every single person. And I would hate to see someone not know what to do, or just, I've been in that predicament several times in my life, and I totally understand how people respond to these things. And I know how rough it is. I know what you're feeling. I know what you have been through. I've been through it with my father. I've been through it with my grandmother. I've been through it with my uncle and our pastor from our church. I just know. And it's not easy. But if you believe in God, lean on Him, and He will give you that peace. That anger will go away. He will take that anger away. So my thought is, I love you. I love every single person that is watching this. And may God bless you and take care of you and shine upon you. And just take care, and peace be with you. Thanks.